up?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, my friend. How you doing?
Dude, yeah, great, man. Worlds Collide was so awesome yesterday. Just
Hell yeah.
it. People was talking about Lucha Libre. I get it. I guess the AEW freakers always joking around about it.
Right.
But if you're really paying attention, all these guys from AAA have characters. That's the problem with AEW and what's going on and whatever. Not really having characters you can get invested in. So, it's just such a stark contrast between what WWE has done with AAA versus what AEW has done with AAA. And I'm just curious about to hear your thoughts about that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, just in the presentation alone, again, we keep talking about him, but Mr. Iguana, like, did he ever wrestle in AEW or even they try to do anything with him? Cause I mean, WWE made that guy a star in a matter of
Talk about
minutes.
missed opportunity. Wow.
Yeah, right? Like, it's all in that presentation. They just know, it's easy to say and it's cliche, but they, accentuate the positives. They minimize the negatives. They put your best foot forward. They give you that best chance to shine. And I mean, we've seen it with countless people now coming over from AEW, whether it's Cody, Jade, Punk, Penta, Phoenix. I mean, even Lexus King, and he's still growing, but you're seeing him grow and get better in NXT as opposed to Brian Pillman Jr. was from the day one with the Varsity Blondes. They had that little moment after the dark side of the ring of his dad where, he had that little mini feud with MJF and then didn't do fuck all with him. And now there's actually watching him grow. You can see it's all about that presentation and they do it right.
You're right. And I really wish just people would take a step back and really take a look at both of these things from an objective point of
Yep.
view and just see like, all right, what's happening with New Japan and AEW versus what is it, Noah? I might be getting that wrong. But Noah, right?
Yeah, it was Noah.
And yeah, okay. And damn, what's that one? Gold something, the one with the women?
Oh, Marigold?
Yeah, Marigold.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you guys sitting here really thinking about this stuff? Like taking a step back? Like, if you say you really love pro wrestling, that means you love all the aspects of it, not just the moves, not just,
Not just the spots. Yeah.
yeah, the spots, you know what I mean? Like, that means you love the characters, you love the storylines. Like, let's be for real here for a second. Are you really thinking about what's going on? Like, do you really, if you legitimately sit there and think to yourself, oh, I love everything going on with John Moxley now, then you don't love pro wrestling. That's all I gotta say about that part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just even look at
AAA.
Oh, yeah, go by all means.
What AAA did yesterday was impressive enough for me because even those the two older women, Dialis and I can't remember the other one.
Chick Tormenta, I think her name was.
Yeah, Chick Tormenta. Yeah, those two were really good.
Yeah.
And they made Vakur and
Lola Vice.
Astro make
Lola
Astro.
Lola Vice.
Really good. I understood you the first time. No, I'm kidding. But they made them two look really good, and they were veterans of AAA, and they weren't soft with their moves. If you watch that match.
Oh yeah,
really
and I love too. Just like that makes me think too. As much as people criticize Conan, I love. Like I guess for me, like I love deadpan comedy. So it's like
yeah.
Hearing Conan talk is so like relaxing to me, and it makes me pay attention a lot more. So I get people being upset by that, with how he was talking and reacting and shit like that, but it just made the Devil's Kiss spot a lot more interesting and engaging than usual,
Yeah, no, I definitely, I feel like a lot of people, and we've talked about it before, Johnson, but people, they just want to bitch. They're just looking to complain and like, oh, he's not perfect at how I want it to be. Like, I enjoyed plus, I mean, I'm an old school fan from the original, like old school WCW days. Like I see Conan, K-Dog, whatever you want to call him. I'm happy to see him anytime on my screen, whether it was inducting Ray into the Hall of Fame when I can watch, Keeping It 100 or seeing him on commentary. And I didn't know he was going to be on commentary. So it was a massive surprise to me when I turned and saw that. Like I audibly was like, yes, in my head, 11:45 in the morning at my house or whatever it started because I'm on the West Coast. It was early, but that show was awesome. I think it was so much better than expected from a fan perspective. And like George and I were talking about before, just the amount of people that have watched it, the positive reaction to it. Like this is how you do a partnership versus, having Tony on your TV talking shit about your company, talking shit about Nick Khan, having his hands under his armpits like he's Mary Catherine Gallagher from Saturday Night Live, whatever. Just
you gotta give some extra credit to Corey Graves though.
Oh, absolutely.
Corey did a really good. I didn't think when that first started, I'm like, oh shit, this ain't gonna be very good. And he really did a good job. Conan did what Conan did, but Corey really they've never worked together.
Right.
Unless they've worked undercover somewhere, but
Right.
they've never worked together. And they did well.
You kind of need like polar opposites because I think what Corey Graves does is he really be turning it up. He knows like he gets the lay of the land and he definitely does research and shit like that. Like I appreciated Conan's background and I like I said, I love deadpan stuff, but I could definitely see when, Corey brings up whatever history that he knows about whoever they're talking about and seeing is definitely very engaging for sure. Because it's like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. It makes me interested in that too.
Yeah, I've always liked. I think Corey's a better, Corey's a better lead announcer than he is the color guy. Before they brought in Tessitore to do it, and they had Corey Graves doing the lead announcing, it was work. I thought he was doing better at it than he does with his. At least with when he's doing the commentary as the heel stuff. I think on NXT now where he's just kind of being himself and giving his opinions, it works. But, yeah, I definitely thought it was a lot better. The whole thing was better, I thought, than I expected it to be for the show and the commentary. I had no idea who was, it was funny. I just assumed, I think it was going to be like Vic Joseph and maybe somebody from AAA. I wasn't really sure, but I thought it was perfect and it really sold it well to the WWE crowd because we at least know who Corey is, and most of us, at least, even if people don't know Conan, they know of Conan. I mean, if nothing else, we have that Conan thing from, that's always great too. Yeah.
What's also interesting too as well is how the event was branded because I feel like, Twitter, a lot of people, maybe Reddit as well, just went into this thinking that this was essentially NXT versus AAA, but it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
It was branded how it actually was in terms of WWE versus AAA. I really do feel like match of the night was the main event.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I thought it was great too. They did like the video packages about AAA where they got to show that to you where you saw the history and kind of understood what the promotion was and who the people were that ran it and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the main event, I mean, even when like George and I previewed the both PLEs on Thursday, but even on our regular show, we talked about it a little bit. I was excited for Vikingo versus Gable just because I knew Gable. I mean, we saw it with Penta's debut. Like Gable can get the best out of anybody. And I knew they were putting a lot into that match, but that match was awesome. I actually, it's one of the things I do want to watch again. I haven't watched the shows again.
I did watch it again.
Nice.
I seriously,
there's a reason
remember
why.
the last time I did this, but I was watching Worlds Collide live yesterday, and I watched the whole thing again today, too.
Okay, so maybe you'll pick up on one.
And I never did that before. I never did anything like that before. So
I mean, that says it all.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a massive success. Both of you guys watched it again. That's awesome.
Yeah, they put Vikingo with Gable for obvious reasons. Okay, when you actually watch Vikingo, he's not good. No, I'm being serious. He's not. Yeah. He's not good.
Yeah, he be watching.
He's very spazzy, and that's not I'm sorry if the wording isn't right, but I can't figure out a word for him. I'm not sure if it's nerves or what, but he doesn't slow
No,
down.
I
That's why
get
he
what
was
you're
with,
saying.
yeah.
He just keeps on going.
I think
It's he doesn't feel the moment. He's just go 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 go.
yeah, and it's a lot of that,
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do a move that's like a difficulty of 8, 9, but my execution's only 6, 7, and he needs to reverse those, because even those moves that he does that to him are like a 6 or a 7 are still gonna excite the crowd, especially when you actually land it and hit it right, as opposed to, running over the rope.
That jump he did off of the top rope on the Gable's back was sick.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think they were used to the ropes. I don't think they were used to the size of the ring. There were a lot of things that were happening that they're going to have to, mop up a little bit.
Right. But that's also great now too, where they've got the PC so they can have people come over there and do a little, and it was also a good first, like, step for WWE and AAA, for the AAA talent to be like, okay, so they're not just going to bury us and make us look stupid. They're going to try to make us look our best. And then people are going to see the, merch check that Mr. Iguana's about to receive from the weekend. And people will be like, oh, well, shit. Yeah, I'll go do one of those shows. Yeah. Put me over. Let's go.
Well, the fact they got me talking
Right.
about it should be one.
And that's the thing that fans need to realize too, is that a company like WWE, a capitalist company, they are going to pay attention to what you consume, what you use your dollars on. So you go to an event, they paying attention to that.
Yup.
If you buy merch and whatnot, they pay attention to that. Cause I'm pretty sure, I'm sure that, they went into this event, especially the first match, not thinking someone like Mr. Iguana
Right.
would be over. But because of the age of the internet and their printing and things like that, that's how they were able to put out a shirt so quickly. Because it's like, oh, people are so into this. We got to capitalize on this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that merch was up before the show ended. I checked.
They know how to back a winner. They know what they're doing. Yeah. That marketing team and the merchandising team are not stupid. It's not run by the Bucks wives. We'll say that.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a topic that's been sitting in my mind for a while.
Please.
Everyone's been thinking about it. No one's been talking about it. Everyone's been talking about it. The crowd of Money in the Bank, how the ticket sales were so bad. There was nobody there at the beginning. I don't live in Los Angeles, okay? I live in Arkansas. However, I do understand Los Angeles traffic.
Right.
I do understand Los
it's
Angeles.
not just that.
Hang on. Let me finish. I'll be with you in a minute. When I get rolling, counselor, I get rolling, then I got stopped. I'm good. But all the people we're talking about, they're not there. There's no tickets were sold. I'm going to do it. First of all, LA's got traffic. People like to be fashionably late in Los Angeles. They're never on time for anything. And as you noticed during the show, it was full. So can we stop the stuff with the ticket sales stuff?
Yeah, well, and
It's not just that.
Thank
It's
you
just
for
that,
letting me finish the counselor. I appreciate it.
No doubt. It's not just that. It's just, there's like ICE like protests and raids and things like that happening too.
There's stuff
So it's
going
like,
down, man.
there's major shit happening in LA
well,
that I'm surprised that considering the kind of show that we're watching, that it was still able to go on and still be packed the way that it was. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
yeah, and I know there's people that bought combo tickets, so they had to finish the one show and work their way over. And yeah, you nailed it too, George. I lived in North Hollywood for like 3.5, 4 years. And yeah, people are late to everything there, whether they want to be or not. I think the fast to be late just kind of happened because of the traffic, where, there's different things. And then with the Intuit Dome, with it's the technological arena or whatever. So there's like the LED lights. So there's certain things that the light will shine behind somebody so it can look like an empty seat too. And people were trying to use that for them. But yeah, we saw what it looked like as the show was going on, and they reported the numbers afterwards. There was no.
See, people that live in a small city like myself figure it's Saturday. There's no traffic on Saturday. This is Los Angeles. There's traffic 24/7,
all the time.
Dude,
when I was living out there, I was like managing bands and like working at a regular day job. And then I was trying to like work in the music industry at night. And yeah, like a show would end at 11:30, 12. And yeah, you'd still be on the 405 like, mother, I'm in traffic. It was always,
amazing.
no matter what. There was a couple of highways that weren't as bad at certain times because they were more near like downtown or whatever, but 95% of the time, like you just have to plan for traffic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's something like,
well, there's no public transportation there really besides a bus system for like if any city.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, they built it. Technically there is a subway system there, but it's very minimal because the car companies like buried a giant part of it to sell cars in the 50s.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
no,
nice.
yeah, there is a small subway system. I've been on it in LA. It's minimal and usually it's like a subway to a bus and yeah, it's a shit situation. But like,
folks, if you like the conversation you're hearing, go to at AltJakeTakesOn on YouTube.
It's in the top of the spaces. I've got it right in there. I've got the YouTube page, youtube.com/@AltJakeTakesOn. We're growing every day and we're trying to do something different in this space and have conversations like this and bring people on that, you know, even if you hear from them in other spaces, we're trying to at least have different types of conversations. And so far we're knocking it out of the park. You know, I mean, Dis said it was his favorite one he's been on. You know, we've had plenty of people. We also tell everybody we'll bring you on for an hour. Most people want to stay on for the hour and a half, if not longer. So no, this is,
I know.
I'm loving these.
This would have stayed on longer.
Oh yeah, no, he had a prime reason to, but honestly, it was a great conversation and he like nailed it with that last line. So I feel like even if he didn't have to leave, like that was his mic drop moment. No, this is why we created this space. So we're trying not to be like, you know, not calling out anybody's names, but I've seen a lot of posts about JD being pissed off and calling people words we're not going to use on this space about being, because they got worked or because he got worked and he's mad about it. Like we're going to look at it from a fun perspective. We're using the alt in my name to be an alternative. We're trying to be fun. We're not, there's no reason for me more bitching and yelling at each other. We get enough of that in the regular world and in this space. So we're trying to have fun. So I'm glad everybody came out. This is a great time tonight.
Yeah, if you got anything else, get it out now because we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, I just realized it's already past 9:30 Eastern, so I think we're good. But if anybody,
we'll wrap it up then.
Awesome. Well, shit, that was fun. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Counselor, thanks for coming on. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to bring you on for a full episode sometime.
For sure, I'm down.
Nice.
Yeah, what we're doing is next week I got Evil Dose. The week after we got MJ.
Yep.
29th is an open date for everyone to come in. And then what I'm going to do is, due to the fact it's summertime, I keep forgetting because I'm down in the south and it's 150 freaking degrees.
Yeah, and I'm in Phoenix where it's already the first surface of the sun.
I don't go outside, but people obviously in the East Coast go outside because it's summertime. So it's tougher to get guests to commit to a Sunday night. So we'll go 1 or 2 guests a month until September, then we'll pick it back up again. So.
Yeah, no, we will continue, but we'll continue to do these spaces as we go. But people, if they have questions, bring them in. We're happy to bring as many people on as we can. So thanks everybody. This was a ton of fun. Hope you have a good one. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.